The village had forgotten his name long before he forgot himself. Every morning the old man sat beneath a dying banyan tree at the edge of the river, feeding crumbs to birds that no longer feared him. Children passed him like wind around a broken statue. Merchants nodded politely without seeing him. Even the dogs stopped barking at his presence. He had once been strong. Once his voice could silence arguments. Once his hands built homes. Once people waited for his advice before making decisions. Now his days felt like loose pages after the story had already ended. And the cruelest part, he was still alive. One evening, as the sun melted into copper across the river, the old man whispered something to himself. "Why does life keep me here when my purpose is already gone?" No thunder answered, no divine voice came from the sky, only silence, ancient, heavy, endless. Then he noticed something strange. A small boy stood near the riverbank, staring into the water with fear. The current was violent after the rains. A wooden bridge nearby had collapsed days ago. The boy looked trapped. The old man slowly stood. His knees trembled like old doors in a storm. "Where is your family?" he asked. The boy pointed across the river. "My mother is sick. I need medicine, but I cannot cross." The old man looked at the roaring water. Years ago he could have crossed it without thought. Now, even standing hurt. But something ancient stirred inside him, a memory, not of strength, of duty. Like the old stories his grandfather once told him about kings who protected strangers, sages who gave wisdom even in exile, warriors who fought battles after losing everything. In old mythology, heroes were never remembered because they stayed young. They were remembered because they continued despite pain. The old man took a long breath, then stepped into the river. The water hit him like cold iron. The current shoved against his chest. Halfway across, his legs nearly collapsed beneath him. Every step felt like fighting time itself. The boy watched silently from the shore. The old man could hear his own heartbeat pounding like war drums from another lifetime. For a moment, he wanted to give up. Then a strange thought entered his mind. Maybe purpose was never something you keep forever. Maybe purpose is something life asks you to rediscover again and again, one act at a time, one person at a time. He pushed forward, and finally he reached the other side. The villagers there recognized him immediately, not as an old forgotten man, but as someone who still carried fire inside him. They gave him dry clothes, medicine for the child's mother, food, respect. But something far more important returned that night: meaning. The old man sat beside a lantern while rain echoed across the rooftops. For the first time in years, he did not feel useless, because he finally understood something most people realize too late. Purpose is not reserved for the young. A tree does not stop giving shade because it is old. A lamp does not lose its value because the paint fades. And a human life does not become meaningless simply because the world becomes distracted. In many old myths, the wisest characters appear near the end of the journey, not the beginning, because age is not the death of purpose. Sometimes it is the beginning of the most important chapter. The next morning, the old man returned to the banyan tree, but this time something was different. People greeted him first. Children sat beside him to hear stories. Travelers asked for advice before continuing their journeys. And every evening after that, he helped villagers cross the river safely until the bridge was rebuilt.